Hello everyone, I welcome you all in lecture number 6 of course Structural Mechanics 2, and today we are starting with another methodology, that is Castigliano's theorem for the analysis of stresses for deflection at joints due to applied forces. In part A of this module we have discussed about analysis of stresses for deflection at the joints using unit load method or virtual work method, and now we are starting with Castigliano's theorem. In earlier course Structural Mechanics 1, we have used Castigliano's theorem in case of analysis of beams and frames which were rigid jointed frames to find deflection at a particular position due to externally applied forces, and the equation used at that time was delta is equal to summation integral m del m by del p dx divided by E, and the theoretical part of this was discussed in earlier course. Similarly, here in analysis of stresses we will be using equation delta is equal to summation n del m by del p, that is partial differential of that m, and with relation to L divided by E. So delta is equal to summation n del m by del p L by E, that we will be using for the calculations. So in earlier course in Structural Mechanics 1, when we used for the deflection, we used Castigliano's theorem for finding deflection at a particular position. Say for example, in this simply supported beam with whatsoever external forces are applied, like UDL from A to C and point load at D, and say when to calculate this vertical deflection at point C, then we applied force P at that particular position, and then what we have done was P is equal to external force applied to the beam or frame in the direction of delta. So here if we are interested in finding vertical deflection at C, then we applied force P at that particular position. Similarly, in case of trusses, we will be applying P as external force applied to the truss joint in the direction of delta. So delta is external displacement at a point caused by the real loads acting on beam or frame. Here in case of trusses, that is at the joint position. So delta will be external joint displacement caused by the real loads on the trusses. In earlier equation, that capital M, it stands for internal movement in the beam or frame expressed by a function of x, that is it is related with the position of that section under consideration, caused by the both the forces, the external real loads and P force applied at the position where deflection was to be calculated. So in this case, in case of trusses, that capital N stands for internal normal forces in truss members caused by both the force P is applied where the deflection is to be calculated and the real loads on the truss joints. E and I, you are aware about it, it is Young's modulus and moment of inertia that we have used in case of analysis of beams and frames. However, in case of analysis of trusses, we will be using AE and L, that is area of cross section, Young's modulus, and whatsoever length of that particular member will be. So we will go through again the procedure what we are going to adopt for Castigliano's theorem for determinate trusses. So place a force P on the truss at the joint where the desired displacement is to be determined. This force is assumed to have a variable magnitude and should be directed along the line of action of the displacement. So we will be applying force P at that particular joint at which we are interested in finding what is the deflection taking place. And if it is horizontal, we will be applying force P horizontal direction. If it is vertical deflection to be calculated, then we will be applying vertical force P at that particular position of the joint. So say for example, in this particular truss, if we are interested in finding horizontal displacement taking place at joint B, and say W over here at joint C is externally applied force, which is real load, then the probable deflected shape is something like this as shown in the second diagram. And then for the analysis we will be considering the true forces or real loads whatsoever are applied, and then at the position where deflection is to be calculated. Say for example at joint B, if horizontal deflection is to be calculated, then we will be applying force P over there, and then we will be going for further analysis. So then we will be finding the internal member forces, that is capital N, both due to real load and force P applied. So this is real load W, and then force P is applied to find deflection at that particular joint. So due to both these forces, we will be finding what are the internal member forces, and then initially we will be calling it as that capital N. Then we will be computing the respective partial derivative, that is del N by del P, and further once again we will be finding the internal member forces when that applied force P is, if it is not there, then we will be substituting it as 0 and we will be calculating the internal member forces. Or else, suppose at that particular position, if real load is existing, we will be putting that value P. In case of P, we will be putting that actual force, whatsoever magnitude is acting at that particular joint. So after N and del N by del P have been determined, assign P its numerical value if it has replaced a real force on the truss. So at that particular position, if real force is existing, then instead of P we will be substituting that externally applied real force, or otherwise now we will be setting P equal to 0. So further we will be going for a tabular form in the analysis, like first column is member, second column is capital N. So that second column is giving us the member forces due to applied real forces, as well as at the point where deflection is to be calculated, the P force is applied. Okay, and then we will be going for finding the partial differential del N by del P, and that will be writing in column 3, and in column 4 we will be writing internal member forces due to real loads. So if P is not existing, then we will be putting P as 0, and at the position of P, if there is existing force, real load is there, then that value will be substituting at this position, and again we will be calculating the internal member. In column 5 we will be writing the length of each member, and if area of cross section is different, then again we will be writing one more column as area of cross section of that particular member, and then we will be writing this term N del N by del P into L. Now in this calculation, that capital N is the column number 4, it is not column number 2, and then column number 4 multiplied with column number 3 with column number 5, that will be giving us a total calculation, and we will be summing it up. Okay, and then we will be calculating deflection by using that equation, summation N del N by del P into L divided by A. So with this procedure we will be going for one numerical, so that you will go through the methodology. So apply Castigliano's theorem to determine the desired displacement delta. So this is numerical 1, and the statement of the numerical is analyze the pin jointed frame as shown in the figure and find the horizontal deflection at joint B using Castigliano's theorem. Area of cross section for members AC and CB is 1903 mm square, and for member AB it is 1539 mm square, and Young's modulus for all members is 210 gigapascal. So this is the diagram of the truss given. At support A it is hinge support, at support B it and at joint C there are two forces. The horizontal force is 10 kilonewton and the vertical force is 20 kilonewton, and the lengths of members are given, and it is said that find the horizontal deflection at joint B. So there is no force as such, but as that is roller support, due to forces there will be some deflection taking place in the horizontal direction. So what will be going for? Now we will be drawing free body diagram of that truss and actual forces as it is, and at the position where horizontal deflection is to be calculated, we will be applying force P at that position. So it is asked to find horizontal deflection at joint B. So we will be applying horizontal force P at joint B. Then we will be finding the internal member forces. So first of all, we need to go for analysis of reactions at the supports. So if we apply summation of moments of all the forces about support A equal to 0, we can find vertical reaction at B, okay, initially. So the total equation is something like this. For 10 kilonewton force which is horizontal acting at C, moment of that will be 10 into 2 about A, and that will be clockwise. So 10 into 2. For 20 kilonewton force it is 20 into, again the perpendicular distance is 2 meter, so that is 20 into 2, and again that is clockwise. So 10 into 2 plus 20 into 2, and if we are assuming that VB is vertically upward initially, then moment of that about A will be VB into 4, that is distance between the reaction at B up to support A. So that will be VB into 4, and that is anti-clockwise, so that is minus. So total equation is 10 into 2 plus 20 into 2 minus VB into 4 must be equal to 0. So if we rewrite that, we will get this kind of term, VB is equal to 10 into 2 plus 20 into 2 divided by 4. So this total calculation gives us the vertical reaction at B as 15 kilonewton. Then if we apply summation of forces in y direction equal to 0, then the equation will become VA plus VB minus 20 is equal to 0. So VA plus 15. So if we take it on the other side, then that will become VA is equal to 20 minus 15. So that gives us the vertical reaction at A equal to 5 kilonewton. Now if we apply summation Fx equal to 0, the horizontal reaction at support A, which is hinge support. So the equation will be HA plus 10 plus P equal to 0. So initially if we consider HA reaction in positive x direction, so that will become HA plus the horizontal force at C joint, that is 10 kilonewton, and at B P force is applied where deflection is to be calculated. So HA plus 10 plus P must be equal to 0, or that gives HA is equal to minus 10 minus P. So that will be HA as a 10 plus P in opposite x direction. So that is written over here in the diagram. So if now further we go for the internal member force calculation. So if we consider the method of joints at joint A and then at a joint B, we will be in position to find the internal member forces due to the applied external forces as well as the P force applied at the point where deflection is to be calculated. So if we initially consider joint A, and if by method of joints, if we go for analysis of internal member forces, and say if we apply summation Fy equal to 0 at joint A, then the member force in member AC can be calculated, and that will be like FAC sine of 45. That 45 is angle between CA and B. So that is 7.07 sine 45, and minus VA, or what we can write is VA minus FAC sine 45 must be equal to 0, or FAC will be 5 divided by sine 45, and that gives us 7.07 kilonewton internal member force in member AC, and that will be a compression internal compression force. So again, if we apply summation Fx equal to 0 at joint A, then the internal member force in member AB, that can be calculated, and that must be equal to 10 plus P, that is reaction at A, horizontal reaction, and horizontal component of member force in member AC. So that will become 7.07 cos of 45. So 7.07 cos of 45 is 5, and 10 plus P plus 5. So that becomes 15 plus P. So that will be the internal member force in member AB. And as this HA reaction is in negative x direction, and the horizontal component of member force AC is also in negative x direction. So member force in member AB will be in positive x direction. So that is tension. 15 plus P in member force in member AB, that will be tension. Again, if we consider a joint B, and then by using method of joints, if we go for finding what are the internal member forces, so AC is now known to us, AB is known to us. At B, we need to calculate the internal member force in member BC. So if we consider a horizontal component of that force, that will be again FCB multiplied with cos of 45, and that must be equal to 15 plus P, and that P force is there in horizontal direction at joint B. So this P force, applied external force, and internal member force in member AB, it gets cancelled. So only 15 is remaining. So 15 divided by cos of 45 gives us the member force in member CB, and that gives us the total force as 21.21 kilonewton. Or else what can be done is, if we apply summation Fy equal to 0, then the internal member force must be downward, because we have vertical reaction at B, and that is 15 kilonewton upward. So again, that member force in member CB must be compressive, and if we consider vertical equilibrium, then FCB sin 45 must be equal to 15. So FCB must be again 15 divided by sin 45. So that gives us the internal member force in member CB as 21.21 kilonewton, and that is compression. So if we go for calculating the further calculations in a tabular form, then we'll be writing first column as members. So we have three members, member AB, AC and CB. So that is written in first column. In second column, we'll be writing the internal member forces due to real forces as well as the force applied, P force applied at the position where deflection is to be calculated. So that gives the internal member force in member AB as 15 plus P, that is the internal member force, and that is tension. And in member AC, that is 7.07 kilonewton compression, so that is written as minus 7.07. And in member CB, that is 21.21 kilonewton compression, so that is again written as minus 21.21. And if we go for finding partial differential of this n, that is del n by del p, then for first part, for AB member, that will become 1, and in second member and third member, that is member AC and member CB, that internal member force is not related with P, so the partial differential becomes 0. So again, what is to be calculated is the internal member forces by considering either that force where it is assumed force P. If there is some existing force which is real force, then we need to consider that force as it is, and then we need to go for finding the internal member forces, or else we need to put that value as 0, and then we will be going for writing the internal member forces. So the internal member forces in different members, when P is not existing, P is equal to 0, that gives us for member AB 15 plus P was there. So 15 will be as it is. And for member AC and CB, in earlier case, the P term was not there. So those terms are as it is, minus 7.07 and minus 21.21. Now area of cross section of each member is given. So for member AB, that was 1539 millimeter square, so it is written. And for member AC and CB, that is 1903 millimeter square. So that is written as it is. And the length of each member, that is written in millimeter. So for member AB, it is 4 meter as given. So that will be 4000 millimeter. And for member AC and CB, that inclined distance or span is under root 2 square plus 2 square. So if you calculate it, it will be 2828 millimeter. And then in next column, what we need to go for calculation is that column number 4, that is N, when P is equal to 0 or P whatsoever is existing, if it is there in that direction, then that is to be considered. Then del N by del P in third column. Then L, that is in column number say 6, and divided by A. Now that AE, if area of cross section is same throughout the members, then you can consider it at the last calculations. But here, as area of cross section is changing, we need to calculate it separately for each member. So if we go through this calculation, then for member AB, it gives us value as 38.987. But that del N by del P for member AC and member CB is 0. So for those two members, these calculations will become 0. And summation of that becomes 38.987. Now, if we go through equation for finding that deflection, delta is equal to summation N del N by del P L divided by A. So now A is there in the earlier calculation itself. So it is taken inside and divided by Young's modulus. It is written over here. So this total sum is 38.987 and that is in kilonewton per mm. So that is to be converted into Newton. So it is multiplied with 10 to the power 3 divided by Young's modulus. Young's modulus is given as 210 gigapascal. So that is to be converted into megapascal or Newton per mm square. So that is again multiplied with 10 to the power 3. And if we go for calculating this total sum, so delta becomes 0.187 millimeter. So that is the horizontal deflection taking place at B. So the same numerical we have done earlier with the unit load method, and that calculation was same. Delta is equal to 0.187 millimeter. So with this discussion, we will go further for one more numerical regarding this methodology, Castigliano's theorem. So the statement of numerical 2 is something like this. Analyze the pin jointed frame as shown in the figure 2 and find the horizontal and vertical deflection at joint B using Castigliano's theorem. And it is said that for all the members, area of cross section is 2000 millimeter square and Young's modulus is 200 gigapascal. And the diagram for the numerical is something like as shown. You have two members AB and BC. A and C is supported at some particular support, and at B that truss is subjected to 100 kilonewton downward force, and the length AB is given as 6 meter and length AC is given as 4 meter. So if this is the case, then we can calculate initially the angle in between the members AB and BC, and that angle is 33.69 degree. And then if we go for calculating vertical deflection at joint B, then as discussed earlier, we need to apply force P at that particular joint in the direction of the deflection to be calculated. So as it is vertical deflection to be calculated, then instead of that 100 kilonewton force, we will be applying force P at that particular joint, and then we'll be finding the internal member forces. So if we go for further analysis with this column member, we'll be writing the members over there. Say AB is one member and BC is the another member, and if P force is applied at joint B, by using method of joints at joint B and considering equilibrium at joint B, now instead of applying summation Fx equal to 0 at joint B, if we apply summation Fy equal to 0, then we'll be in position to find what is the internal member force in member CB. And as force P is vertically downward, the component of the member force in member CB, that must be vertically upward. So that is compression. So if we apply summation Fy equal to 0, the equation will be FBC sine 33.69 minus P must be equal to 0, or FCB will become P divided by sine 33.69, and that gives us internal member force in member CB as 1.8 P, and that will be compression. And then if we consider summation Fx equal to 0 at joint B, then the member force in member AB must be equal to the horizontal component of member force in member CB. So FAB must be opposite to that, and that gives us the member force in member BA, that must be tension, and the magnitude of that will be 1.8 P, that is member force in member CB, multiplied with cos of 33.69. So that gives us internal member force as 1.5 P. So these two values are written in the second column as capital N, 1.5 P and minus 1.8 P, as this is compression. So if we go for calculating partial differential, then del N by del P becomes for member AB as 1.5 and for member BC as minus 1.8. And initially the real force is 100 kilonewton. It is not P, and P is the assumed force. So if we now consider the real force in this column number 4, then that member force with P as 100 kilonewton, it becomes 1.5 P. So that will become 1.5 into 100. So that gives us internal member force in member AB as 150 kilonewton tension, and in member BC 1.8 into 100. So that gives us 180.28. Actually that 1.8028 something is there. So I have written it over as 1.8, but while writing in this column, its complete value is written over here. So that is 180.28, and that is compression. So again in next column the length is written, it is in meter. So for member AB it is 6 meter, and for member BC that will be 6 square plus 4 square under root. So that calculation gives us the length of member BC as 7.21 meter. So now if we go further for writing N delta N by delta P L, and area is constant throughout, and the Young's modulus is same in both the members. So that is not considered over here. That column in earlier numerical area column was there. Now here area of both members is same, area of cross section. So it is not considered in the calculations of N del N by del P into L. Earlier it was the complete divided by area. So that is not considered here. So now N value is in kilonewton, L is in meter. So that gives us in kilonewton meter. So these calculations, column number 4 multiplied with column number 3 multiplied with column number 5. So that gives us 1350 value in member AB and 2339.67 in member BC, and both are positive because here this is minus and this is also minus, so that becomes plus. Now if we sum it, that summation becomes 3689.67. so that value is summation N del N by del P into L. So that is 3689.67, and it is in kilonewton meter. Now, if we go for finding the complete equation that delta VB, that is vertical deflection at joint B, that is summation n delta n by delta P L divided by E. So this complete term is already calculated, that is 3689.67, and that is in kilonewton meter. So that is converted into Newton mm by multiplying it by 10 to the power 6 divided by area of cross section, that is given as 2000 millimeter square for both the members, and the Young's modulus is given 200 gigapascal. So that is again converted to megapascal. So if we calculate this complete, then we get this deflection, vertical deflection at joint B as 9.22 millimeter. And the same numerical we have done with unit load method also earlier, and the magnitude that deflection calculation was the same. So again, what is asked is to find the horizontal deflection at joint B. So now, instead of considering vertical force at joint B, which was applied as P, instead of that, now we will be applying the horizontal force P at joint B, and as it is real force 100 kilonewton is there at B. So now, if we go for the further analysis, then for horizontal deflection at joint B, considering method of joints and considering joint B, we can calculate the internal member forces in member BC and BA. And as we have done earlier, initially we will consider summation Fy equal to 0 at joint B, so that we will be in position to calculate the internal member force in member BC. So as this 100 kilonewton force which is applied at joint B is vertically downward, the internal member force and its vertical component must be vertically upward. So that gives the member force in member BC as compression, and then FCB will be equal to 100 divided by sine of 33.69. So that gives us internal member force in member BC as 180.28 kilonewton. And now if we consider summation Fx equal to 0 at joint B, then the horizontal component of that will be in the calculations of member force in member AB, and the P force is there at joint B. So the horizontal component of member force in member BC, that will be 180.28 cos of 33.69. So that gives us internal member force as 150, and P force is there which is acting at joint B. Then the internal member force in member AB, that will be tension, and that will be 150 plus P. So that gives us internal member force in member AB. So as in this table written in first column the member, then in second column the internal member force due to applied external forces plus P force which is applied at the position where deflection is to be calculated. So in this case we calculated the horizontal deflection, so that P force was applied at that direction. So now if we go for calculating del n by del P, so for first member AB, that is 150 plus P, that was n. So del n by del P gives us the magnitude as 1, and for member force in member BC, that is 180.28. So the P term is not there in this calculation, so del n by del P becomes 0. And now as that there is no horizontal force as such, so P is equal to 0. If we put that P is equal to 0, the internal member force is 150 in member AB, and in BC as it is 180.28 compression. So now lengths are known, and then we can go for calculating n, that is column 4, multiplied with del n by del P, that is column 3, and multiplied with length, that is in column number 5. So n del n by del P L, for first member it becomes 900 calculation, and in second member, as that del n by del P is 0, this calculation will be 0. So summation of these two gives us summation n del n by del P into L, so that is 900 kilonewton meter. Now to go for further calculation of the horizontal deflection at joint B, so delta HB will be summation n del n by del P L divided by 8. So this term we have calculated summation n del n by del p into L, that is 900 kilonewton meter. So 900 into 10 to the power 6, that is converted into Newton mm. And area of cross section for both members, it is given as 2000 millimeter square. So it is as it is. And the Young's modulus, that E, that is 200 gigapascal. So that is converted into megapascal, that is 200 into 10 to the power 3. So if you go for calculation of this, then the horizontal deflection at joint B is 2.25 millimeter. So with this, we'll conclude this lecture. I am thankful to you all for this lecture. Thank you.